I think with our implementation of technology, our staff were a little hesitant at first. Technology was a very new thing to them, and I think there was a real concern for them that learning such a new skill and a new approach to teaching around technology would really be an added pressure to them. I think we managed to counteract that through very, very careful and gradual training. So actually, when the teachers began to use technology, we started off with very limited things that we showed them how to do. And that again came back to our strategy. Our strategy was about making sure that everything was manageable. We saw from that actually that staff, once they were over that initial hesitancy, have absolutely flown with the technology. They've really thrived with it, and they now see it as a piece of their teaching which they really can't do without. And that was particularly evident when we began to speak about year placements for next year for teachers, and teachers were, the first question asked was, will I still have access to my iPads? So it was nice to see that had been overcome. There was, I think as you would expect, we had some technical difficulties. Mainly our broadband was the first challenge, and we found that we needed some upgrade work because our broadband wasn't really sufficient enough to handle lots of extra devices, particularly IP addresses, but that was sort of fairly easily remedied by our tech guys. And I think the last challenge really was probably more to do with parents, and I think parents were really worried that children would spend the whole time looking at screens. And we had a few conversations with parents that said, well, you know, they spend screen time at home. I really don't want to be like that at school. And I think from that there were concerns that children wouldn't be writing in books and all the traditional things they did in school wouldn't happen. And that's really just not been the case. The teachers really understand that this is a tool for their teaching, and when it's the right time to use it. And when it's not, they don't. The best example I had of this was when I spoke to one of our pupils a little while ago as I was showing some visitors around the school. And I said to them, right, why aren't you using your iPad in this lesson? And this girl in year 4 very articulately looked at me and said, because it's not the right thing to do at the minute. And I remember thinking, okay, this has worked. Children understand. I think in terms of the successes that we've had with our technology approach, I think the fact it's grown. We started with 2 classes, and we've now got 4 classes which use iPads one-to-one. But it goes beyond that, because our technology isn't just about those iPads in those classes. We've got staff now using technology across the school. Every teacher in our school has got an iPad. They've all become Apple teachers. So they've now got a really kind of useful skill set. And actually what we've seen is that a teacher with one iPad can still really enhance their teaching in class. I think our teachers become much more confident as well in terms of how they use technology, and because of that newfound confidence, we've got a much bigger group of teachers that are now looking for what the next change in technology will mean for our school. We've got a couple of teachers that are really interested in augmented reality and have begun to play around with that and to see how that can enhance their teaching. So the staff have really gone on this fantastic journey from being kind of slightly hesitant users to now being kind of trailblazers, looking for the different ways we can use it. And I think the other success, and this is probably the one that I think is probably the most important, is that although the technology does amazing things, it's that the children and the staff have really mastered the importance of using it as a tool, so knowing the right time to use it. And one of the teachers said to their pupils, if you need to hammer a nail, a screwdriver's no use, is it? And I remember laughing at that, but actually the point she made was really, really, really important, because the children know if they'd be better off to do it with pencil and paper, they'll do it that way. So the children now have at their disposal this amazing technology, but they know when the right time to use it is.